welcome back to another episode of Wit, Grit, and No Bullshit with your girl Sin City. Thank you to all of my day ones that keep coming back and watching. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you for being here. This is going to be a great episode. Hopefully this goes the way that I want it to, but I have a feeling it's not because I really still don't know what I'm doing yet. I'm still trying to figure out how to do this editing thing, recording, all of that. So I have a feeling it ain't going to be quite the way I want it, but we going to figure it out. But it's still going to be a great episode, great topic that we're discussing today. The main topic is going to be discussing addictions, and what that could mean for different people. And before we get into that topic, we're going to start with trends with your girl Sin. Because, there's got to be trends. Alright, so the trends that are all across my social media right now, and I'm on all the platforms because your girl be out there, you know what I mean? So I be in all of the platforms. But the one that y'all is tickling me with right now is these damn ChatGPT, everything y'all are using ChatGPT to do. So if you remember back around Christmas time, y'all were using ChatGPT to basically make y'all a Christmas album cover, because that's what it looked like. Y'all had on the little sparkly outfits with the candy canes all around you. You basically had it making you Christmas album covers. I don't care what nobody say, that's what it looked like. And then I posted a meme saying that I have been marked safe from being in a sparkly Christmas jumpsuit with the candy canes, because I just thought it was crazy. But my brother from another mother, brother in arms, my boy Bo, took it upon himself and thought it would be funny to do it to me anyway. I didn't find it funny. Not one bit. I actually felt some kind of way. And I was pretty salty about it. He don't know this, but we still beefing behind this. Because who told you to turn me into a freaking candy cane album cover? Because it just wasn't it. Alright? So he don't know, but we still beefing. Alright? Hopefully I could insert the clip for y'all to see it. But it's a hot mess sandwich. So Bo, you was wrong. I want you to know that. And now y'all out here making ChatGPT make y'all into characters. Characters? How do y'all say it? You know what I'm saying. Little cartoon use, alright? Based on what it knows about you. First of all, I don't want it to know nothing about me. Okay? I don't be talking to ChatGPT. So, I don't want it to know nothing about me. And the fact that it knows so much about y'all enough to have all this information to make y'all is terrifying. But that's neither here nor there. Hard pass for me. I don't trust nothing. I can't do it. The only thing I do is have it rewrite some shit for me. But I can't be out here doing it. It's not for me. And I don't even use ChatGPT to do it. So that's just me though. Another one that y'all was out here doing hard was the snow and ice. Making your snow into ice cream. It was everywhere. To me, that's nasty. I also am just a germ person. I don't know what's been out there on that snow, especially if y'all was getting the snow off the ground. I don't know what's in there. I don't know if an animal then came and urinated on said snow. Like, it's just not for me. That's a hard no for me. But to y'all that's doing it, hey, you do you, boo-boo. I just can't do it. And then y'all's also making the little cheesecake, no-bake cheesecake using the yogurt instead of doing cream cheese and all that. It used to be a healthy dessert I want to say we got it from the Japanese. And y'all done turned it into Big Back Central. Y'all out here stuffing it. Okay, first of all, y'all taking my favorite cookies and putting it in there, but y'all not just putting like 2 or 3 of them in there. Y'all putting a whole pack of the cookies in the tub of Greek yogurt. That's not how that was supposed to be. Then y'all adding chocolate syrup and all kind of stuff. Y'all doing too much. Y'all doing too much. Y'all done took this wonderfully used to be a great sweet treat into Big Back Alley. Like, for what? What was the reason? Okay. Now, this trend I did participate in, and it was very cringy. It was. I apologize. But it was funny to me. But it was definitely cringy. This one is the owl trend. If you haven't seen it, this is where you are giving the point of view of whatever owl you are trying to be. So like some people were like, this is a Denzel owl, or blah blah blah, whatever. I felt it was only fitting to do an impression of an owl that was a Drake fan, because obviously his image of his everything OVO is an owl. Like, so why wouldn't an owl be an owl fan? Or owl fan. Why wouldn't an owl be a Drake fan? Like, he putting him on the map, you know what I mean? Owls everywhere now because of him, you know what I mean? So I feel like it was only fitting to do it. It's here you go. Hopefully,
an owl.
You see the clip. Hopefully,
that's also a Drake fan.
Yeah.
Who?
Embarrassing. That's all I gotta say. That straight cringe. And that'll do it for Trends with Sin. So this week we have the Super Bowl coming up on Sunday. And I could truly say I care less. I care less about the Super Bowl. Just being honest with you. I don't care about either team. Not a single one. I am only looking forward to the halftime show. And you can be a hater if you want to, but I personally like Bad Bunny. Number one, he's nice to look at. You know what I mean? Nice to look at. But also, like, I just dig him. I think he's a cool cat. I like his music. He's funny. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I want to see who he brings out, because he's done a lot of collabs. And so I would like to see who he brings out to do the performance with him. But yeah, I think the Pats are going to take it, personally. And unfortunately, because y'all know I'm not a fan of the Pats. I don't like the Pats. But I think Diggs has got a chip on his shoulder, and he feels like he has something to prove. So I think that's why you're going to see the Patriots win it, unfortunately. Definitely a Patriots hater, and I'm okay with saying it. I don't mind saying it. But you know who I dislike more than the Patriots? Them goddamn Cowgirls. You know what I mean? So, and I ain't never afraid to say that. You feel me? Something else I'm not afraid to say is that there are some things that I see that I just don't rock with, or agree with. I keep a lot of things to myself, and I don't voice my opinion, especially on things that are currently happening in the current climate. And that's mainly because, in the line of work that I do, I cannot get involved with a lot of it. So a lot of people, like, you have a platform, you need to use your voice, you need to speak up on behalf of people that are voiceless. And I agree. However, when it potentially puts me out of work for saying how I feel, I just can't. I can't say a lot of the things that I be thinking. Just know I'm probably thinking it with you. But I saw a meme of a young man. This ain't got nothing to do with that, by the way. I'm just telling y'all, there are a lot of things that I see, a lot of memes, a lot of things that are happening in the world that I just don't rock with or agree with. And this has nothing to do with like political stuff at this point. Now I'm just talking about y'all be doing too much, okay? On the internet. Stuff y'all post, stuff y'all say. Some things are not meant to be shared with others. That's the point I'm getting to right now. And one of those is I saw a meme of a young man wearing lace underwear. I don't know if they were boxers. I don't know if they were boxer briefs. But either way, he had them on, and he made sure to sag his pants so that you could see his lace underoos. What was the reason, sir? Like, for real. Why did we need to see that? We didn't. We didn't need to see it. Like I say, y'all be doing the absolute most. And I know this is 2026, and it is supposed to be the year of doing the most, but child, no. Like, that's not what we meant when we said this is the year of doing the most. That ain't it. Okay? If y'all don't have 18 seats, let me catch you out in the streets with that on, in person. And I'm probably going to pull you to the side and have a come to Jesus meeting with you, because I just don't get it. I don't. Social media's been getting crazy. It's been wild, especially with certain apps. And y'all know I love my clock app. Y'all know I do. However, I just can't rock with it like I used to no more. I've had to kind of pull away from it. And not post as much on there. Like, I still have been like posting like memories. And I go on there and look at stuff y'all send me, because a lot of y'all are still sending me stuff, even though I told y'all I was reducing my footprint on the app. Y'all still keep sending me videos over there. I'm guessing because a lot of y'all don't have me on other social media, but some of y'all do, and y'all still keep sending me videos over there. But it started acting even more janky than it already was when the new leadership took over. It was glitching for like 2 or 3 days with a lot of people. And I got a lot of crazy violations like on the first few days. And then now you get this little thing that says if it doesn't like your content, that it can't be shared with other people, or it's not nominated to be shared with it. I forgot what the wording is, but it has done this to quite a few of my videos now, which is kind of really annoying. But then the fact that they gave me a bunch of violations in one day and was threatening to suspend my account, they even made it to where people couldn't message me or I couldn't message them, and it was because I was sending videos to other people. They said I was spamming because I was sending videos. But yet, any of the people that were sending me videos weren't getting these same violations. So it really didn't make any sense to me. But my account really has slowed down anyway ever since I took myself out of the creators program. Like, my followers have been stuck at the same number. It has not changed. If it does, it drops and then it comes back to the same number. Like, it is so ridiculous. And so it kind of has frustrated me a lot, because I really love the app, mainly because a lot of the other creators that I follow on the app, but it has made me to a point where I really don't want to post on there. But the only reason I do love posting is because of the options that I can use to post, and you can't really do that on other apps. So it's kind of frustrating. I'm kind of stuck on, like, do I delete it completely, or do I get rid of it? Also, I really don't like the fact that the whole point of why it was bought out is because they were worried about other countries having access to our data. But now with the new owners, they are allowed to give our data to law enforcement agencies or anybody else they want to give it to, and there's no way to opt out of that, and I don't like that either, for obvious reasons. But yeah, So I really don't know what I'm going to do. I'm debating if I'm going to delete it, if I'm going to keep it. But as of right now, I've just like kind of slowed down on posting over there. But yeah, I really just don't like the fact that they could share your info, which was the whole point of why they wanted to take it from the previous owners. So it doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, so that's how I feel about that. For those that follow my Sin Sipping Saturday content, we wrapped up with Dry January. And I can honestly say I enjoyed Dry January because I slept better. I still slept like shit, like I always do because of my sleeping issues, but I slept better than I normally do. I feel like I've been in a way better mood. Yeah, and I don't know. I think I was just okay without it. Uh, Not a fan of all the mocktails we made, to be honest with you. I think there were a few that I was like, this is absolutely horrible. It was not a fan whatsoever. Um, but it is what it is. Um, there were at least two of them that I felt were gross. One for sure. But I did miss drinking. I'm sure my husband did. Excuse me, especially him and his friends because they normally drink while they're gaming. But for me, I was good. Um, Especially with the alternative to drinking that I found with like Hi-O. And it was something else. But yeah, that's the primary one. Um, but we're back into introducing alcohol into the mix. So I think I may though continue to do a combination of like mocktails and cocktails here and there, especially for my viewers who do not consume alcohol. I think I'm still gonna have some mocktails mixed in, just for those viewers. But yeah, now we're going to move on to our actual topic, which is addiction. Um, for those that are unsure on what addiction is, because a lot of people automatically equate addiction to drugs, right? But addiction is a chronic neurophysiological disorder that is persistent or it's intense urge to use a drug or other items that in a behavior that produces an immediate psychological reward, even though they could provide harm or negative consequences to the user. Everyone always thinks of drugs as being like the main thing when they hear addiction, like I already said. But addiction can be with anything, right? It can be with alcohol, cigarettes, sexual activity, porn, shopping, gambling. The list goes on and on. There are a lot of things that people can be addicted to besides drugs. There can be a lot of reasons that can cause someone to develop an addiction. That could be such as depression, anxiety, loneliness, boredom. Like there are lots of reasons. Peer pressure, genetics even. So there's no one set trigger or cause for addiction. There can also be risk factors that play a role. And like I said, genetics is also one way that people or one way that people can get addicted that people tend to overlook. Words are hard today, man. As well as a person's environment, right? Environment could play a big role on it because the people you surround yourself with could be a reason that you start developing addictions to things. A prime example of genetic factors or cheese and rice. Prime example is genetic factors account for 40 to 60% of risk factors for alcoholism. So 40 to 60% of reasons why people turn to alcohol, like when it comes to addiction, is because of genetics. That's crazy to think. This also accounts for the other types of drug addictions. When I spoke about depression earlier being a cause, so can stress. Stress is also a leading factor, especially when it comes to drinking, right? You come home from work one day, you had a bad day, first thing you start doing is getting you a drink. And say you start having bad days often, and that becomes your primary coping mechanism, is having a drink. That just continues, and then you go down this path, right? And that's their way to cope, to relax, to calm down, and it just becomes like slowly but surely their way of life, their coping mechanism. So it can play a central and key role in the development of addiction. And when we talk about environmental factors, experiences that we go through in our lives, like for me, being in the military, experiences while deployed, sexual assaults, like there's lots of things that people go through in their environment that could be the justification or trigger, I won't say justification, but the reason behind why this happens, right? So abuse, childhood trauma, sexual assault, like I said, those experiences can trigger a lot of things: addiction, depression, anxiety, PTSD, and all of those could, once it gets too bad, you may start developing addictions to try and deal with those aspects instead of seeking help, right? It's just going to lead you to a path of hopelessness when you start going down that road. The biggest thing is self-identification, right? Being able to acknowledge that you have a problem, no matter what that problem is, and then finding some kind of way to deal with that problem, right? So you've ID'd that you have an issue, and now you're taking it upon yourself to go and try and get help. And really, the issue, finding the issue within yourself first, besides someone else identifying you have an issue, usually is indicative of you want to fix it. If you can see it in yourself and know that there's a problem, you acknowledge it, then usually that person is like, they're game to go and try and get help or treatment. But if someone else is the person that's pointing it out to you, or you have a situation that happens that now you're forced to go get treatment, then you're really not going to want to go through that treatment unless it was so severe, you know what I mean, that situation, because you don't feel like you have a problem. If other, you know what I mean, like if when other people are identifying it for you, sometimes you do know you have a problem, you just don't want to acknowledge it until someone else tells you. So it all depends on the person and the situation and how severe their issue is. But it all depends. It depends on if you're willing to change, if you want to change, if you want to seek that change. As always, I say it's okay not to be okay. And it's okay to ask for help. Sitting and suffering in silence and trying to deal with stuff on your own is not the way. You shouldn't be embarrassed about it, because shit, life happens. It happens to everybody. And getting help will only help you get better and maybe see a better aspect of life that maybe you're currently not seeing because of the situation that you're in. And we all have, so we'll say this. We all see on social media a lot of people who are currently struggling, right? Especially with food addictions, for example. Because, you know, it became popular to see people doing the I never say this word, ASMR, whatever, y'all know what I'm talking about, the sound videos, especially when people are eating, or the mukbang videos, right? People kind of romanticized that and was like, oh, this, and they started like following, and then they started telling them, oh, you should eat this, you should do this, and then it became like for a lot of those people, they wanted to keep making the fans happy because it kept making their views go up. It kept getting them more money if they were monetized and whatever, but not realizing it was also causing them to start developing a food addiction. You know what I mean? Like, there's one dude on TikTok that everybody always is seeing. I think his name is James or something. I don't remember what the guy's name is, but he's a larger guy, and he's always like mood, and he eats large portions of food at one sitting, and he'll say it's a snack, right? He said in an interview recently that it started getting so bad because people would always tell him to eat this, do this, do this, and so he kept trying to appease the people and just kept doing it, and would go up more and more every time of how much more food he was eating every time, not realizing that it was becoming a problem. And then, you know, at one point he was like, he was going to get on a healthy journey, and then he relapsed, right? And now he's right back to the same stuff. But I think it's because when he was doing his healthy stuff, he wasn't seeing the interaction that he wanted to see from people, and I think that made him go back to it. That's my opinion. However, that's where we're currently at in the world, you know what I mean? Like, people think that shit is cute and it's cool, and it's really not. Like, you're putting yourself at risk by eating like that because it gives you popularity and money. And then we all have friends or family that maybe have had or currently have issues or dealing with some form of addiction in your life. You may even be a product of someone that may have had an addiction, right? One of your parents may have been addicted to something. You just have to be there for them to help them through those situations and those struggles, and help them come out on the other side. They just need to know that somebody cares and loves them, and wants to see them better, and wants to see them, you know, thriving again. Because a lot of times, especially as family, like when we see a family member struggling, sometimes we kind of like step back and give up, you know what I mean, in a way, because you sometimes you don't want to deal with it, or they're always asking for money, or they start stealing or doing whatever to try and support their habits. And so a lot of times you just want to cut them people off, but at the end you also got to still hope that they're going to change and want to get better. But like I said earlier, it's on them to want to change. They're not going to change or try to fix it or stop it until they want to. And they have to want to do what's best for them. For those of you out there that may be struggling or looking for help, look to your local community for local treatment facilities, depending on what your need for help may be. There are different types of avenues that you can take, different facilities within your local communities, from support groups to rehab facilities. Find what works best for you. Don't let other people try to tell you, which program or which way to go about it. If you're struggling, you have to find what you feel is going to help you. Next week, hopefully, God willing, I will have my first guest. I'm saying God willing because I'm hoping she continues to want to be on here next week. But if she is here next week, this will be someone that I've known for most of my career. I met this young lady at my second duty station. So back in, I got there in 2005. I probably didn't meet her until 2006, maybe 2007. And I've known her since. Great woman. Like I said, so she was military for 20 years. So she's a vet as well. She was also in the Air Force, prior Defender. You know, I love my Defender fam. She's moved countless times throughout her time in the military. She was also a military brat. So even before she was doing the military thing herself, she was a dependent. Her dad was a chief, great dude, probably one of the best chiefs I ever met in my career. But I want to have her on next week. I will leave it to what we're going to talk about when she's here, because we're just going to fill it out. We're going to see where it goes. Looking forward to having Courtney on next week. That does it for another episode of Wit, Grit, and No Bullshit with your girl Sin City. Once again, I appreciate you guys for tuning in like you always do. Love, peace, no fish grease. I'm out.